Hello and welcome back to Morganly Yoga. My name's Morgan, and today I want to talk to you about the inner dinosaur, your explosive raptor. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, check out this video right here. But for now, you know those moments during your day when you're barely hanging on for dear life? You're not really aware of that, but it's true. And then your toddler comes in and asks for another drink of water, and you just snap at them like, what do you need? That's your explosive raptor. It can show up when you least expect it. And usually, after you explode, you have this immense guilt and confusion, and you are like, what the heck just happened? You feel like a mean mom, even though deep down inside, you know you're not mean. And I know this is a problem for a lot of moms. It was definitely a problem for me several years ago. And I just couldn't figure out why I kept exploding like that at everyone when I didn't want to. Like, I wasn't actually mad at my child for asking for another drink, but it just came out. Like, they caught me off guard and I just couldn't hold it back anymore. Now that I'm on the other side and I've worked through calming my inner dinosaur and I've worked through all of the nervous system resets, I understand it for what it is. My body was in fight mode. I was on the attack because I did not feel safe. I wasn't aware that I didn't feel safe, and it wasn't like I was being threatened with like at gunpoint or something super serious like that, but my nervous system was in fight mode because it did not feel safe. This showed up in my life mostly as anxiety. It also showed up as obsessive thoughts that just would not leave me alone, going in circles, coming back to the same thought over and over and over again, spiraling downward, spiraling upward, going deep into research mode to try to solve all the problems I thought that I had. This showed up in my life as always living in the what ifs, living in the future. Well, what if this happened? I need to do this so this doesn't happen. Or it sometimes goes backwards and you live in the past and you replay experiences that you had, conversations that you had. I know we've all been there before. You go out and you have a conversation with another mom at the park, and then when you get home, you replay it over and over in your head and like, why did I say that? I shouldn't have said that. She's going to think so many bad things about me. And this is just your nervous system, your explosive raptor being on alert. It's like, hey, we're under attack and I need to figure out how I can keep us safe at every single turn. But good news, there's a solution for this. What needs to happen is you need to calm down your nervous system. Basically, you need to let your inner raptor know that you're not in danger. And this starts by getting control or overriding those thoughts. This starts by stopping the cycle of obsessively researching things or looking too far in the future. You need to live in the present moment. Now, you can hear that and maybe roll your eyes and be like, yeah, be present, blah, blah, blah. But I'm serious, mama. The reason you have the explosive raptor in you is because it is trying to figure out where the threat is coming from. And right now it can't see it, so it's guessing. It's trying to figure out, is it going to come from this direction in my past, from something I did or a mistake I might have made or blah, blah, blah. Or is it coming from the future, something I can't see yet? I better be prepared. No, if you are right here in this moment, you can help your inner dinosaur, that raptor, look around and be like, oh, I'm safe. There is no threat to me right now. And this is just going to help your inner dinosaur maybe sit down, maybe go to sleep, and just get off guard a little bit. And I promise this is going to make you feel 10 times better. So you might be asking right now, well, how can I be in the present moment? Because when you are on high alert, it's really, really hard to sit still. It's hard to be in silence. I know that personally. when this Raptor is in overdrive, you're constantly craving input because you're scared of your own thoughts. You're scared of what you might discover, what might be out there. And so you're constantly listening to music, the TV's blaring, you have podcasts going, you're listening to an audiobook. And while those things aren't bad, they are bad if you are using them to mask the symptom of being scared and being in this fight and alert mode. But when you can gain control over the narrative, when you can reassure your inner dinosaur that you're actually not in any danger right now, then it can be quite peaceful and calm to sit and enjoy what's happening in the moment, to not have that constant input through all of these different devices and mediums. For me, that showed up as yoga. Now, I'm going to share with you just a short story of how I came to find yoga. We got to back up. My kids were pretty young. I think my oldest was probably 5 or 6, and I had 4 kids. My oldest has special needs. She had a lot going on medically, and I was definitely in fight mode. I was scared for myself. I was scared for my special needs daughter, and I had been like this since she had been born. And so my nervous system was in overdrive. My inner dinosaur was running the show. It was going to stop anything crazy from jumping out at me and attacking us or our family. And so I was on constant alert, and I would get anxiety attacks. I didn't know at the time that they were anxiety attacks, but I would just be over-flooded with this anger or these emotions. And it all came to a head one night for me. I couldn't sleep because of all of this. It was an anxiety attack, but I had all these swirling thoughts in my head, and my heart was beating really bad. And I was obsessively researching on the internet to find solutions to all of these questions I had, these thoughts and these threats that I thought were going to attack me. And I found myself downstairs in our living room, sitting in the dark, right here on this couch, and tears just streaming down my face because I was so scared. And it was in that moment that I knew I needed help. And I was able to finally recognize this anger and this fear for what it was really. And so I just typed in, like, how to stop being anxious or something like that. And the search result popped up yoga. And I was like skeptical, but I was desperate. So I was willing to try anything. And I didn't get on my yoga mat right that second. I just couldn't bring myself to take that action. What ended up happening, a long story short, is my husband came down and I admitted everything to him, and it felt so good to get it off my chest. But I know that can be hard to do. But that was step 1, is just finally admitting that I had a problem. And then that day I rolled out my yoga mat. I watched a YouTube video, and it was immediate, the relief that I felt. When I stepped onto my yoga mat, I was tense. My mind was going 500 miles an hour. I was still scared. My heart was a wreck. But at the end of my yoga session, that very first one, I felt calm and peace for the first time in my life in years. And I didn't know that I could have that. I didn't know that it was possible to feel that way as a mom. Now, something I did learn right away is that feeling didn't last very long because my nervous system was so dysregulated. It was more natural for me to pop back into that fight mode and to be on alert. So I would do yoga. It would last for 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'd be all tense up and ready to go again. But I had made a commitment to myself that I was going to give it a try every single day. I think I was doing one of those 30 days of yoga challenges, and it made a really big difference. At the end of 30 days, I was a completely different person inside. Even if you couldn't see it on the outside, inside, my inner dialogue had changed, and that made the biggest difference in my life. Now, I am not suggesting you go out and try a 30-day yoga challenge because that can be even more overwhelming for parents. I mean, if you want to, please do. That would be great. Instead, I want you to commit to doing 5 minutes, only 5 minutes of breathing every single day. Because now that I have had training in yoga teaching and I've had my experience using it as a tool in my life as a mom, I know that the breath work is the most important part. The movement is great. It has lots and lots of benefits, and if you pair them together, it's really magical. But if you don't have a lot of time, it all comes down to your breath. Because when you completely 100% focus in on your breath, your thoughts are going to quiet. And when your thoughts quiet, you get back control from the Raptor. So I am challenging you to just choose 5 minutes out of your day. This could be the first 5 minutes right when you wake up. You could just sit on the edge of your bed or even just stay laying down and focus on your breath. You could do specific breathing exercises like box breathing, where I have a whole video about that. There's lots of resources out there. You could do just simply inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your mouth. But all I want you to do is focus on the breath. Try not to let any other thoughts interrupt you. So literally count your breaths. You can be like, inhale for 1, exhale for 1, inhale for 2, exhale for 2, and just keep going like that. If you lose count, start over. It doesn't really matter the number. The point is you're not allowing any other thoughts to come in. And you can fit this in at any point. Hit brew on the coffee machine and just breathe until your coffee is done brewing. I mean, it doesn't have to be like set a 5-minute timer and I'm not allowed to move. Don't be so strict on yourself. 5 minutes is just to let you know it doesn't take very much time to see a big difference in your life. And the other thing that really helped me as an overthinking mom is to just put it all down on paper. A lot of the times I was holding on to these thoughts because I was scared I was going to forget them, and then they would sabotage me or just come out of the blue later because I had dismissed them so fast, so I would obsessively go over them in my mind. But keeping a notebook next to my bed at night and just quickly writing everything down I was thinking about, no specific order, terrible handwriting, just getting it all down, that helped quiet my mind as well, because I knew I could go back and look at that list anytime I needed if I was worried I forgot something. You know, the ironic thing is I never did. I never went back and looked at that list. But just knowing that it was there gave my body the safety and the permission to finally release and let go of the tension that I was holding. And that's what it really comes down to. Your inner Raptor, your nervous system just needs permission to relax and let go. If you related with anything that I talked about today, I would really appreciate it if we could start a conversation down below in the comments and just share our experiences. Let other moms know that they're not alone in feeling this anger. They're not alone in feeling anxiety and having these obsessive circling thoughts. It helps to know that this is normal and natural, but it also helps to know that there's a solution. And so I hope you will try the 5-minute breath or the brain dump or combine them and get some relief in your own life. Thanks for being here, and I will catch you in our next video. Namaste.